Hiya folks, good morning. Very, very wet here, absolutely kicking it down with rain. So I just thought I'd do part 2 of this series to show you more of the stuff I got yesterday. It's going to be a short one today. So without any further ado, let's go. And this record was a real head shocker when I saw this. The very best of new wave of British heavy metal live. And if you look at the artist on front, that's what shocked me, because sometimes you get a lot of sort of bands that weren't sort of predominant, if you know what I mean. I shan't mention them, but this album's so strong, it's unreal. You've got Samson, Angel Witch, Tank and Girl School, and you get 3 or 4 tracks from each of them, all on one album. I've never ever really seen this before. My guess is that they all belong to the same record company, or they've got the rights to do it. But these albums are very, very hard to pick up, and when you do get them, they tend to be very expensive. I only paid £2 for this one, and this is one of the big finds for me. But it's so strong musically, and it's very very rare. It's a series as well, according to the CD. They must have obtained the rights somehow. Not very much booklet action, but you get all those 4 bands, and it's funny because the Angel Witch, I think the guitarist lives in Croydon, and you see him round here sometimes. A friend of mine was going to introduce me, but he's reasonably local. But you get all that stuff. Tank is Greg, you'll love that, mate. And it's just out of this world. It's just so strong, it's just unreal. And like I say, for £2 what I paid for it, you know, it's just mind-blowingly. But it's new wave of British heavy metal. It's also it's probably a reissue. It's got that original black sort of plastic inner, and it's just a really, really nice pickup. But even on vinyl now, this stuff's getting eye-watering, and it's really, really, really bad. The next one's one of my top 5 favourite bands. If you follow this channel, you know who I'm talking about, and that's this album by a band called Sabotage. Now, I've got this album, but I haven't. It's a limited edition. That's why I picked it up. And what I love about it is it's for real Sava fans, including poster. And I'm very sceptical about these limited editions because it hasn't got a number on, so I don't know what it's been limited to. But it's in immaculate condition. The poster looks like to me it's never been opened. It probably has, but I'm not going to because it's extremely flimsy. But I believe it's that, but it's expanded. But it must be. It's a big poster. This is. It's being well compacted. But that's the ship on the front. If anyone knows what this album's about or wonders what it's about, there was disaster in the Atlantic apparently, and it was something to do. They found a year before this album was recorded, they found 3 people. I think they were Romanian, bobbing about in the Atlantic Ocean. And one person went in and saved them or something. But I remember reading about it. But I do own this album. But you can tell this is a collecting larks of disease because this album's got the poster. But it was also the last album. I'm not getting clever. I actually wrote it down where Zachary Stevens did the vocals. It's got a nice thick booklet action with it as well. If you haven't checked out Sabotage, I recommend you do. It's just an awesome band. But yeah, that's a bit of the booklet action, and I believe it tells you about the story of it. Actually, yeah, that's right. It tells you the story when they did actually pull these poor Romanians out of the water. You get all the newspaper clippings there of the actual sequence of events that led up to the recording of this album. The Wake of Magellan, and it's all this sort of booklet action. It's a really, really nice story. And I tell you a story. and they were talking about Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Iron Maiden, and a lot of people are shocked when you tell them it was a famous nautical poem by Coleridge. They look at you, they think it's some sort of fantasy story or stuff like that. But most of this stuff, when they go, heavy metal bands go nautical, it tends to be, you know, a real life disaster or a story. But that it's nice booklet action there. I hope you can see that all right, and got some nice pictures of their future albums. And yeah, it's just an amazing record. You got John Oliver. He sort of was relegated to the keyboard player as well, which made me laugh. He started out as lead singer, but he sort of carried on writing for Sabotage. But he did a lot of the records you hear post. I think he joined a band called Butcher, but I may be wrong. But most of the albums post Butcher, he's on all of them. But he just plays the keyboard. But I think he does a lot of the songwriting, so it's sort of in his style. It's just an amazing piece, and for what I paid for it, it was definitely coming home with me. And yeah, it's just great. Now, Greg the Egg, the last item would probably make his eyes pop out of his head, and this was one of the key points of the find for me. So I'm a huge Dio fan, and I found this, and I haven't got it. I think I've seen it before, or may not have, but it's just an outstanding Dio. And basically this came out, I wrote it down as well, July the 12th, 1999. And this is a 2 CD German set. Now these came out there, I think there's 4 or 5 countries, Japan, Germany, somewhere else, America I think, but there was variations of the theme. Some had 1 CD and some had 2, but this is the 2 CD box. What shocked me was some of the bands, because obviously they're all German bands, or most of them are. Blind Guardian, Don't Talk to Me Strangers. I'm a bit apprehensive with that song because that's my favourite Dio track of all time. Yeah, you've got Primal Fear, Do Kill the King, Doro Does Egypt, Jag Panther, Fate's Warning, Catch the Rainbow, Gamma Ray do Long Live Rock and Roll, Malmsteen does one, Gravedigger do We Rock. I can't wait to hear that one. And Holy Mother do Holy Diver, and Greg Axel Rudy Pell does Still I'm Sad. But it's all like a cross section of Dio's career when he was with Rainbow, Sabbath, and as a solo artist, performed by all these artists. And that's it there. And we've already got one of the CDs because Greg put me onto one. When I saw this one, it did cause my eyes to pop a bit. And I'll show you the booklet. It's a great thing. Oops, it's a bit difficult to get out. It is a nice booklet, and it's got like the last one I showed, where you get all the artists. Because when they do these, you get sort of really big artists like Rob Halford doing them. But this album is just amazing. Some of my favourite German sort of stars doing Dio stuff as well. And it's just a lovely thing. You've got Ronnie Dio's discography at the back, right back from when he was with Elf. And it's just a really nice thing. But I can't wait to hear this one. And it's going to be an agonising wait. I just can't wait to play it. But yeah, thought of you, Greg. I thought of Greg again when I bought this one. It's just outstanding, especially the Rainbow stuff. And I saw I've been watching a couple of interviews as well, where Dio actually talks about working with Richie Blackmore. If you go on, I think it's Blackmore or Richie Blackmore's YouTube channel, you'll see them all for yourself. But anyway, folks, my 10 minutes are up. It's getting heavier rain here. I'll be back tomorrow with a part 3 of this series, and I wish you all a happy day and love each other.